Hi, welcome back to the channel. Michelle, and today I want to share what I plan on doing for Black History Month. So I think it goes without saying that Black History Month is not limited to February. It is something we cover throughout our entire school year. We teach very real history, very hard history in our house. Especially this year, we're doing American history using O Freedom, and it's really the voices of the people that aren't often talked about in the history curriculums we're used to. So I feel like we cover that really well, and we also cover it in our social justice units. So we do social justice as a core subject in our homeschool. So I feel like we do cover it really well there, but I do like to do something specific in February. Just like in November, I like to do something for Native American Heritage Month. Even though we do learn about it throughout the year, I like to take these opportunities to dive a little deeper, or maybe talk about something we haven't been discussing. So this year I'm using the same resource I used last year, and it's from the National Museum of African American History and Culture. It is an online resource, it's completely free, and my kids had a lot of fun doing it last year, and we specifically use the Learning Together, and it's a virtual program, and it's museum educators who come together, and it's a virtual Zoom, and they have special guests, and they talk about usually different careers of African American people, so they bring that into perspective. They also talk about culture, identity, activism. The program does differ year from year. This is our third year doing it, and I really like it. I think it's well done. I think that the guests they have are really great. I think the activities, there's always an art or craft activity included on the virtual Zoom. They have a printout that you can have ahead of time to see the materials you need or what they'll cover. There's additional resources, websites, and suggested books that go with each guest that they have. So they typically do 4 virtual Zooms in February. I think they're only doing 3 this year from what I've seen on the schedule. Now you can choose to register and do it as, participate as it's actually happening on that Friday, or you can choose to use the pre-recorded link. They have a YouTube playlist that they have, and you have access to all the printouts and everything, so you can just do it at your own time. So last year we did participate in some of the live virtual Zooms, and we did participate in some of the pre-recorded Zooms. It really just depended on our schedule because Fridays are usually our co-op days, so we couldn't always make it when they were scheduled. But I think it's a great resource. So I'm going to walk you through it. I'm going to show you some of the things I have, but then I'm going to actually take it to my computer because it's a virtual resource and show you kind of how to navigate it and the wonderful resources it really does provide. So, like I said, it has printouts. So what I end up doing is I print out they have a kind of like the first, it was February 2nd was the first live Zoom, and it was celebrating Black beekeepers. And I believe the theme this year for Black History Month was celebrate Black nature lovers and explorers. So we look at a pair of beekeepers. They are owners of a bee farm, and it'll tell you right away what you need. You can print this in color. I choose not to. I like to save my ink when I can. It will also give you book suggestions that go with that unit, and they are picture books. And then additional resources, and as you can see here, I've already gone through and seen if Hoopla has it, if my library has it, if there's a read aloud available on YouTube, and that's really a great suggestion. I'm not spending any money to do this additional unit. It's not super thorough, but I think it's really engaging and educational, and that's exactly what I want to go for right now. I don't need a super in-depth unit because we do that throughout the year. I just want something that's a little more simple but educational and bringing in different perspectives and voices. So they have online resources. You can see I've kind of put circles around the ones I want to do. So we're going to be looking at Urban Beekeepers, which is a YouTube video, and How Do Bees Make Honey by SciShow Kids. So those are the things we will do, and then I will actually go through and look at my library system, see what books I will need, because we will do it usually sometime that week. I'm not sure if we'll do it exactly on a Friday, although it's already started. Our schedule got a little complicated, so we haven't started it yet. There are times I've done it on Saturday as well, just because it fit better in our schedule. So we will start it next week. I think we'll bring it up back Tuesday or Wednesday. So we'll start with the February 2nd one, even though that's already happened. We'll have to look at the previous link. And then it also provides the printout for what you'll be doing for an art activity. So you're going to be making a wildflower collage. It will tell you the supplies. It will give you the steps. But the nice thing about the Zoom or the pre-recorded, if you watch it later, is that it walks you through all the steps. So they kind of introduce their guests. They ask the questions. If you're in the live Zoom, you can type in questions in the comments and they will respond to you, the guests that they have. And then the museum coordinator will actually do the craft live, or if you watch the pre-recorded, you can watch it later, but they'll do the craft right along with you. So I think that's really cool, and there's some interaction you can see. Even if you watch it back, you can see the interaction. So that's really cool. We did it last year too, and it was looking at African American characters in media. So we looked at like Doc McStuffins, we looked at Princess Tiana in Disney. So it was looking at a lot of Disney movies. That was the theme, and we did different art projects with that. And it was really cool because last year we could watch the movies or the shows that we were talking about, and it brought up a really good conversation of media literacy, but also representation in books and magazines and TV and everything. So do we often see a certain type of person being portrayed? So it brought up some really deeper conversation, but it was still light and fun at the same time. So I just picked up a couple books that my library had, and I will say all the books I was able to find as YouTube read-alouds. So I will usually do 3 of the 4 suggested books, and they are picture books, but again, I think that's perfect because we do a lot of in-depth, deep history in both our history and our social justice units, so I'm really fine bringing in the picture books. And it really does include everyone from my preschool to my almost 11-year-old. We all have fun doing it, and I will actually participate with the kids as well. So now I'm going to show you kind of how it works and what to click on and everything for easy use. So as you can see, this is the main website, the National Museum of African American History and Culture. And what I just usually do is go up to this events tab, click on it, upcoming events, because these are live Zooms. So if you want to actually register for the live Zoom, so go down to here, Kids Learning Together. And this is the one scheduled for February 9th. And again, you can register for this and you will get a Zoom link and be able to attend the live. Or if you go down here, it will give you a description of kind of what this one is about. So this one is about learning about divers, and it will tell you a little bit about the special guest. And here's the program reporting. So if you don't make the live, you can click on this and it will take you to the playlist. So the Meet the Chef, Meet the Doctor were from last year, and this one is the first one that they put up, the February 2nd one, which is Meet the Beekeeper. And you can see here, it's 45 minutes long. So it will come up and you can see the person running it, the museum educator, will introduce themselves, they'll introduce their guests, they'll talk about beekeeping, there'll be a chance for live questions, and then this is the interview part, and then towards the end, the museum educator will actually do the craft or art project that's associated with it. So I think it's really cool. I think it's worked really well. Again, you can access it through this link here, and I will link this specific page below so you can easily find it, but it has the resources as well. If you click here, it opens up the PDF so you can print, and this is what I printed. So I printed these resources. So I always print the first page, so what it's about, any pre-work. So for this one, obviously I need to make sure I have colorful paper, I need to have magazines, crayons optional, because we're going to be doing a collage picture. And then I went through, like I said already, and I labeled that if my library has it, if I'm getting a physical copy of the book, if I'm using an ebook from Hoopla or Libby, or if I'm using a YouTube read aloud. And I have to say, I'm pretty sure I searched all of these, and they are all available through those YouTube links. And you just have to search, bee dance, read aloud, and it will show you, different options for that. I've already talked about how I've gone through and I've decided which one of these I'm doing, because obviously it has a range of age. If you want to do preschool kindergarten level, you can do the Elmo one. I think my preschooler would really like that, but I think my almost 11-year-old would probably not like Elmo very much. So I was mindful of the choices I made for each kid. But as you can see, you just keep scrolling and it'll go next to the next page. And you can choose to print this out. You can choose to just look on your computer. But it will go through each one they have scheduled. And that's why I believe there's only 3, because I only see this is the last one. You meet a rock climber and you get to paint some rocks. These are the books. Again, this is one of the books I got from my library. I went through and looked at the different rock climbing resources, but it's that simple, it's that easy. I think it's fun, I think it's educational, and we have really enjoyed it the past years. And if you want, you can see last year what they did. So this was celebrating Black characters. And you can still use the resources from last year. So we made a toucan, we painted a toucan, and last year they had specific links to things in their actual museum that you could learn more about, which I thought was really cool. They had the books and the online resources just like they have now. But it's the same thing. It gives you a brief overview of the things you'll need. And then this was last year's. They gave you the things they have in the museum that relate to that topic, the books, the online resources. So you can pick and choose which ones you want to do. You can combine last year's with this year's if you want. You want to make it more. But as you can see, the videos were about 45 minutes. And that's including she is doing the craft and art project in the video. So it's not just 45 minutes of them talking. It's a lot. It's an interview. It's learning about beekeeping. It's learning about art and craft, and learning about important Black figures in the community. So that is what we will be doing this year. We have really enjoyed it the past 2 years, and it's something I think we'll continue to do. So if you have any questions, leave it down below. I will make sure I leave that link for you to find these resources. As always, thank you for watching.